Hello. So today, this evening, we are going to be having the session on how to build resilience to stress with the stress master, Chess Moulton, and myself, Dr. Ezinne Nnamdi Lewis. So I am so delighted that we are going to be having this session. Okay. So I encourage you, drop whatever distractions you have because this is going to be a mind-blowing session. Just be prepared. If you have your pen and paper, please get it ready, okay? Because Chess is already here and he is waiting to begin. So for the next 30 minutes, he's going to teach us. Keep your questions ready. And after him, I will teach us as well. Keep your questions ready. So over to you now, Chess. We are happy to have you here.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. I'm Chess Moulton. I'm the Stress Master. I want to welcome you to the session, and I want to thank you for coming in and giving us your time this evening. First of all, I also want to thank Dr. Nnamdi Lewis for inviting me to come on this evening. It's Sunday evening here in the UK, where I am. Wherever you are around the world, I don't know what time it is, but I hope you're relaxed and comfortable. I'm looking forward to giving you some value in the next 30 minutes, and I'll be available after to answer some questions as well. Yes, if you have some pen and paper and you want to take some notes, I might suggest that you might want to write down one or two things. I'm going to go through a few things here in the next 25 or 30 minutes, and I'm hoping that everybody will at least get one or two nuggets. Retention level being what it is, I'm not expecting everybody or anybody to be able to take all of it in, but I'm going to talk slowly and try to articulate my thoughts, and I hope wherever you are in the world, you're safe and protected this evening. So let's begin if we can. I'm here to talk about resilience, as the good doctor had said, resilience and stress. Now, before I can do that, the first thing we need to do is we need to find out what resilience is, the definition of resilience. Resilience is the capacity to be able to recover quickly. It's the ability, resilience is the ability to bounce back. And that's simply what resilience is. Now let's define stress so we have both of these in an equal balance, as it were. I've seen over the years, I've seen tens, maybe hundreds of definitions of stress. Most of them are very wide and very long, and I think a couple of them that I read were almost probably the cure for insomnia by the time I get the end of it. I've seen some very good ones as well, some short and very concise and very targeted, what I think are well-defined words describing stress. I'm going to give you my own definition, and stress is really what happens when demand outstrips supply. So I'll say that again. When demand is greater than supply, you have a recipe for stress. Whether that's physical demand in terms of demand supply, in terms of products that you have in a warehouse or in your company stock, in your store, whether that's demand and supply in terms of the demands that are being put upon you, either mentally, emotionally, perhaps physically, in your environment at the immediate moment, or even what you perceive to be what the demand upon you will be at some time in the future, based on what the resources you have, or maybe the ones that you don't have, that would create that lack of supply, and therefore then start to produce stress. So that's my definition of stress. When demand outstrips supply, you get stress. Now, there are two types of stress. One is positive and one is negative. Let's talk about the positive stress for a few moments, if you'll allow me. So the best way to describe this is to tell you a story. I hope you like stories, because I like telling stories. I'm going to tell you one now. So imagine there's this gentleman, and he's on this trucking holiday somewhere out in the Far East. Maybe he's in India, maybe he's in Sri Lanka, maybe he's in Indonesia somewhere, I don't know, or somewhere in the Far East. And he's on a trekking holiday, which means he's going to spend most of his days walking through the hills and valleys and up over the mountains and the pastures and down the pathways of the rural areas of the place that he has gone to. And he's there for about a week. And on the second or third day, a couple of days go by, and he's kind of met somebody in the group that he's kind of bonded with, another gentleman, and the two of them spend some time and they're talking together. And they've made a plan now after the second day. So starting on the third day, in the morning, they're going to meet out in the pasture, maybe a little half an hour, 40 minutes before the rest of the crowd, so they can start down the pathway on their own and have more time to bond and to share and to talk and to get to know each other and exchange ideas of whatever the topics are that they find of interest. And so said, so done. On the third morning, they start down the pathway and they're talking and laughing and joking and reveling in each other's company. And they're having a good time. And of course, they're getting all the exercise they need as well. So they've gone down the pathway for a while, and maybe after about 20, 25 minutes, they turn a little corner in the path. And there it is, about 100 yards down. There's this tiger there, all by itself. Now, the tiger doesn't notice them right away, because the tiger is rummaging around over in the side of the pathway down in the gully there, and probably looking for some breakfast or something to take back to Mrs. Tiger and the little cubs. But as they immediately freeze and stop what they're doing, and they're standing there for a few moments, after a few moments, the tiger looks up and he sees them. And all he can do is fixate on these two gentlemen. So what happens is that one of the gentlemen, he's standing there and he's very, very quiet, very, very slowly. He starts to reach up over his shoulder into his backpack and brings out his running shoes, his sneakers, his trainers, some people call them. Yeah. And quietly, very quietly, he drops them to the ground. His plan is to release his feet from the sandals that he's walking in and put on his sneakers. And the gentleman looks next to him, looks at him and says, "Are you crazy? Are you mad? You're never going to be able to run faster than that tiger." And our hero, the first gentleman, looks at the other fellow and he says, I don't have to run faster than the tiger. I only have to run faster than you. Now, this is a little story I want to talk to you about, because stress is in here in many different ways. So we talk about fight and flight. Well, there's a third one. The professionals in the audience would know it's fight, flight, and freeze. This is our automatic, innate stress mechanism that we have inside of us. And what's going to happen is that stress mechanism is going to, start to engage itself. All of the brain chemicals, the adrenaline, the cortisol, the other chemicals are going to release themselves in the brain, surging the blood and increasing the strength load, and the muscles and the heart start going to pound. So whatever that guy is going to, or anybody who's in that situation is going to decide to do, whether they're going to fight, which might not be advisable, whether they're going to get out of there quickly, flight, or whether they're going to stay, whether they're going to freeze, stay, and try and blend in and come up with some other kind of a plan. This is your automatic stress mechanism system, the one that you were born with, that kicks into play. This is positive stress. This is why I'm one of the proponents around the world that tell you that you can't get rid of stress. You can't eliminate stress. And this is why you wouldn't want to. So first of all, I want to tell you that if people are telling you that you can get rid of stress, it's not possible. And you wouldn't want to, because this is your stress mechanism that's going to save your life. This is the stress mechanism that kicks in when you need to make those life-threatening or dangerous situation decisions that will allow you to stay, fight, run, or freeze. So that's one. Everything else, all the other stress, the negative stress, that's all something else. And I may swing back around to that if I have time in a few moments. But let me carry on with this here. So, see, we can't deal with our stress if we don't know what it is. Now, I've given you one aspect of what stress is and why you wouldn't want to get rid of it, and simply why you can't. Now, moving down to the next level of this, so we can understand how the resilience plays in with this, we have to understand what stress is in order to be able to fix it, as you might say. And I'm going to change that word "fix it" in a minute to another word. But let me explain what I mean here. We're going to bring this all together at the end, and it's all going to be marvelous. So I call it the 3 M's of understanding stress. So we've defined stress. I've given you an example of when stress would be of some value to you. Now let's try to go a little deeper and try to understand what stress is. First of all, on the way to doing that, let me tell you what stress is not. So the 3 M's. Stress is not medical. Now, I know that a lot of people would say, well, stress, there's a lot of medical issues associated with someone's stress. You wouldn't be wrong. You're absolutely right. But those are the symptoms of stress, not the stress itself. One of the things that I've been able to determine in the over 25 years that I've been doing this in one form or another is that stress is the cause of or the result of most of what's wrong with people. I'm going to repeat that. So stress is the cause of or the result of most of what people would say are their issues. So stress is in the equation. It just depends on which side of the equal sign that it's on, but it's in the formula. So when we have the 3 M's of understanding stress, the first one is medical. As I said before, stress is not medical. The symptoms, the burnout, the depression, the anxiety, these are all symptoms of stress. What I find most of the time, not all of the time, but most of the time, is that people start to focus on the symptoms. So now what wasn't stress before now becomes the focus of everyone's attention and not the stress itself. And I find this puzzling. The 3rd M for understanding stress, or perhaps I should have called this the 2 M's of not understanding stress, because the 3rd one is actually understanding it. But stress is not mental. Now, I know that I can hear people already watching this or live, or either watching the tape of it sometime in the future. People are saying, but come on, Chess. Certainly having a positive mental health, having less stress or no stress, but you can't get rid of stress, so we'll eliminate that one now. But having less stress is a good thing. And I agree with you. Having less stress is an excellent thing. But again, we weren't born with the depression, the anger, the frustration, the anxiety, the fears, the phobias, the things that those mental issues that we would have as a result of the stress. So again, stress does not become the issue. People concentrate on the symptoms of the issue, whether the symptoms of stress, whether it's the medical or the mental. Now, we only have the 3rd M remaining, and the 3rd M of understanding stress is management. So understanding stress is all about management. And that management comes down to yourself managing your stress. Now, how do we get that done? Well, first of all, recognizing what stress is and what it is not will help you in that equation. Now that's when we get down to the resilience, because people always ask me, what is the cause of stress then? Well, there's only one cause to stress and there's only one solution. And both of those are the same word, and that word is you. Okay? So stress is not out here. There's nothing out here. There's nothing out there anywhere that is stress. Stress is inside of us. So there are three things that we do. There are three things that we do as humans. We think, we feel, and we behave. And that's it. Now, if you're doing a fourth thing, then you're not a human. You're not from this planet. You're from some other planet, which means, well, you could probably manage this planet. I'll be your manager. We'll make millions, I'm sure. But I'm just going to surmise. I'm just going to stick my neck out here for a minute. I'm going to imagine that everybody listening to this broadcast this evening and the replay of it in the hours and days to come would identify themselves as human. If that's the case, then really there are only three things that you do, all kidding aside. You think, you feel, and you behave. And behavior can be subdivided into actions and reactions, and that's it. Now, there's these three fingers over here. What do they stand for? Well, they stand for people, places, and things. So it's how you think, feel, and behave in relation to people, places, and things that dictate the quality of your life, that dictate the level of your stress. So at the end of the day, who's responsible for your stress? Nobody or anything out here. You are. It's how you think, feel, and behave in relation to those people, places, and things that dictate the quality of your life and the level of your stress. Now, I want to give you a time is running quickly. So I hope that you can see how going back to our definition of resilience, which is the ability to bounce back quickly, the capacity to organize yourself in a way and recover. This is what resilience is. So resilience is down to you, and it's down to the way you think, feel, and behave in relation to people, places, and things. That's the succinct way that I could put it in about 20 or 25 minutes. Now, I want to give you an example of how you can modify your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors in relation to people, places, and things. Perhaps that might be able to help you. So let me give you this then. So I know that a lot of people are watching this from Nigeria. And I don't know whether you've been told or not. I'm speaking with the doctor a couple of days ago when we first met, and she invited me onto the panel. That I've been in Nigeria. I've been in Lagos three times in the last, I guess, about the last 2 years. The first time I came to Lagos was in March of 2018, I think. Yeah, it was March 2018. So I've been down about 3 times or 4 times. And I really like it down there. I really do. But that's another story. I've done some presentations and workshops. That's another story. I hope to get there again when all this craziness is over and we can travel again. But just imagine that you're on some lovely, long African beach in Nigeria. And let's say I'm at one end of the beach. And I'm down here at the end of the beach. And I'm by myself. And I don't want to be by myself. And at the other end of the beach, I see some of my friends have come onto the beach, and I want to go and join them. Now, if I was going to, so I'm going to move from this end of the beach up to that end of the beach, this long, lovely, beautiful beach in Nigeria. I know there's more than one. I've seen pictures. So I'm at this one end of the beach, and I want to get up there. If I were to do this the way that I've been taught, the way that I've been programmed, the way I've been taught to organize myself and think, feel, and behave in relation to the people, places, and things. So this will be a place and a thing. This is what I would do. I'm going to start out here, and I'm going to start running, and I'm going to start jogging. I'm jogging down the beach. I'm jogging down the beach. I'm looking to see how, I'm getting farther away from where I don't want to be anymore, because my goal is to get up there with my friends and where the cold drink stand is. So I run, and I'm running along, and I'm really sort of concentrating on trying to get away from that, because I was down there by myself, and I was negative, and, I don't want to be down there anymore. That's why I'm going up there. So overnight, the tide came in and went out as it would, and left some driftwood on the beach. And I'm kind of jogging up. I'm kind of looking, and I'm getting farther and farther away from where I was on my way to where I want to be. And I trip over the driftwood. And of course, I fall down. I probably crick up my ankle a bit. I pick myself up, brush myself off, and maybe I hobble a little bit and start going again. So now it's a very long beach. So I'm going down the beach. Earlier in the day, the mothers and the little children were down with the plastic pails and the shovels and everything. They've all gone home now, and the water's come in and washed away all the sand castles and the little mounds of sand and things that they were making. But there's still a big hole in the soft sand. And as I'm running, I step into the hole. And of course, the next step I take, I fall over. And now I've really banged up my shin and my ankle and my knee. And I'm not doing very well, am I? Let's pause there for a moment. Now, if I were in this particular case, if I were literally, if I were to change my focus and concentrate on the positive I do want, which is to get down there to the end of the beach where my friends are, rather than spending so much time concentrating on the negative I don't want, which is to get farther away from where I was, wouldn't I better be able to see the obstacles that invariably appear? And I think I've just taught you that life is a beach, and then you run down one. But what I want to convey to you in this story, and this is the second story, is that it's our mindset, and it's how we approach things. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about how you're approaching, how you're thinking, feeling, and behaving about things that are the goals that you want in your life. Are you more concentrated on the negative that you don't want? Or are you fully concentrated and focused on the positive that you do want? Therein lies the difference. And that's where you're going to find your resilience at. That's resilience to me. Yeah? You and how you think, feel, and behave will again dictate not only the quality of your life, the level of your stress, but also the level of your resilience. And in order to have that resilience in the face of the stress that is manufactured, that will tell us then how well we're going to do with that resilience and how much effort we're going to have to deploy to be able to manage our stress better. One last point I want to make. So what happens? Let's go back to the lion and the fight, flight, and freeze. See, what happens with people today in modern society is that, so when the danger goes away, when I get away from the lion, I outrun my mate. Maybe he's eaten by the lion, I'm not sure. But anyways, I run away and I'm safe. I get away from the danger. All of that stress mechanism that kicked in now goes back to a resting state, and everything goes along normal again as it should be. What happens is that we tend to see a lot of things, or some people everything, but some people see a lot of things in their life, at that elevated level. And so everything's almost like, well, it's not life-threatening literally, but they have elevated levels of stress, all these elevated levels of stress that never seem to have a chance to go back down, dissipate, and go back into that resting mode. So when everything that we see around us and everything that we're doing, and all day long and every day and every week and every month, everything is always at this elevated level of stress, then that's what we call chronic stress. And that's when you start to have all those mental, emotional, and physical symptoms that I spoke about earlier, which are a result of the stress, not the stress itself. So these are the ways that we can think, feel, and behave in relation to people, places, and things that will allow that stress level to come back down. Everything doesn't have to be elevated. Everything's not a man-eating tiger staring you down from 100 yards away. We have to learn how to be able to manage ourselves, to be able to manage our stress. And in that, my friends, is what resilience is. So I want to thank you for the time that you've allowed me to come in and explain this. And I hope I've been able to offer some value to you this evening or today, whenever you're going to be watching this. I want to do one more thing, if I may, to show my gratitude, if I may. I have just in the last month written my second book, How to Control Stress Instead of Stress Controlling You. Now, I'm giving this away for free, and free is not forever, so there is a limited offer here. But I'm giving this book away free. It's about 60 odds, almost 70 pages. Some of what I've spoken about today is in it, and there's much, 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 much more related to this and related to resilience if you look at it that way. You can go to my website. It's thestressmaster.com, and it's there. You can download it for free. I hope you'll do that. I hope you get some value of it. And thank you again for allowing me to come into your life this evening and share some of what I know about resilience and stress with you. Thank you very much.
Wow. The Stress Master, this is so amazing. Thank you so much for all you have really shared, especially the analogy in the beach that you used is so clear. Like, even if I forget anything else, once I remember this, it will help me with my perception of how I see things. Because this reminds me, guys, if you have any questions, please write down your questions now, okay? We still have like 18 minutes with us. So write down your questions and he will answer them while he's still here. So it reminds me of when I was working in a place in Nigeria. So my workplace was kind of toxic, okay? And I kept complaining all the time. Each day, I kept feeling worse about the situation. But on a particular day, I made up my mind that I will not focus on the wrongs that are going on in that workplace. I will rather focus on where I was going to, which was a better place, okay? And with that mindset, I stopped noticing all the toxicity in the workplace, like they disappeared. It's worked like magic. So this analogy that you explained just reminded me of it, and it is so perfect in building resilience to stress. I am so grateful to you for this.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you. Are there any questions?
So if you have any questions, let's ask.
Well, there must be one or two questions. Come, there must be a question.
Definitely.
I didn't explain it all that good. So while we're waiting for a question, then let me just let me take that and make a little bit of a turn on it. Something that not everybody gets to be. It wasn't me. I've never been in the Far East. I'd like to go, but I certainly wouldn't go trekking through the forest and the pastures with all the Bengal tigers and the lions around. That's for sure. But let me put this in maybe in a context that people would maybe more relate to. So again, with the as you say, the story with the beach, and I love that. Thank you very much for that. I lived in the West Indies for many years, and I lived on a beach for a few years when I first arrived there. So that's where I got the idea of the beach story from. But I talked to a lot of people over the years. I've seen in my private practice, and in the workshops and seminars that I've been fortunate enough to be able to present in various parts of the world. I've just met hundreds of people, and the people that I've spoken to, many of them, when we have a few minutes to talk at a deeper level, most people I think want to be. They have some ambition, some sense of they want to be wealthy. Now let's talk about the wealth comes in many forms, not just financial, But let's talk about the financial for a minute, because that's something that we all have in common, is money. We have the weather and money in common. Yeah? So I talk to a lot of people who want to be wealthy, and there's nothing wrong with that. I aspire to that myself. But everybody's level of wealth is different. Some people, I ask them, well, what would make you happy? 100,000, million, 10 million, 5 million, 15. I've heard every figure from 100 grand all the way up to 100 million and beyond. It's all good. Everybody's got their own level of what they feel they would be comfortable with and what they aspire to. That's great. However, what I have found in further investigation and talking to many of these people is that while they aspire to be wealthy, they're out there every day working hard, trying not to be poor. Those two things are, it's not, as we say, it's not the same phrase, two phrases meaning the same thing. It's not. They're completely different things. So this is what I'm saying to people. You're thinking about a goal. Well, you aspire to something. So let's just say the money. So you aspire to accumulate some level of wealth. But many of these people are out there every day trying to run away from the negative they don't want, which is to be poor. They don't want to be poor. They don't want to be unwealthy, right? So they're trying to get away from the negative they don't want on the road to acquiring the positive that they do want. And because they're more focused on the negative they don't want, then they don't see the obstacles that appear, which I think is called life. And therefore, then they're not. So if they were more focused on the wealth they want to create for themselves, their family, whoever they want to create it for, then they would be better able to see the obstacles that invariably appear, like the driftwood and the hole in the sand. Does this make sense?
Yes, that's right. That's right. So we have a question here.
Good.
Hello, the Stress Master. Can we balance life with the stress we face on a daily basis and still live a normal and healthy life?
Yes, you can. You can. So first of all, no, that's a great question. I appreciate that. Thank you. So again, it's let me start again. So all these things come together because you're exactly right, and somebody's picked up on all of what I've explained. I really appreciate that. So we can balance it because it's about management. It's about how we think, feel, and behave in relation to people, places, and things, because that's all there is on planet Earth: people, places, and things, or stuff, as some people would call it, right? So that balance comes in knowing that we can stop thinking the idea that we're going to eliminate stress, because that means you're grasping for something that you're never going to achieve, which just will increase your stress and anxiety and frustration. Yeah, more stress because you're never getting what you want, you're never eliminating it. So once we get used to the idea that we can't eliminate it and we wouldn't want to, then we learn how to manage it through mental skills training, through recognizing the tools that we already have, that we can deploy, that we can engage into the inevitable stress that we're going to have from time to time, that will allow us to have that lower level of stress and be able to manage it, have that balance, as the questionnaire says, have that balance going forward and be able to sustain that. So being able to balance stress and still have a normal, healthy life, I believe that's what having a normal, healthy life actually is. Yes?
I believe this answers the question.
I hope so.
I believe so, yes. Because balance is the thing. Okay, someone said, you can't hear clearly? Please, is there any other person that is having the same issue? Not no sound. Please let us know. Is there anyone else having the same issue of no sound? Because I can hear perfectly well from my end. Okay, while we at it, no other question for now. So guys, remember, he has given us his free book. Okay, all you have to do, how to get control of your stress instead of stress controlling you. Okay, people can hear us well. So all you have to do is go to this website, www.thestressmaster.com. You don't have to pay anything. That's so generous of you. Thank you so much. So guys, go and utilize this opportunity. Okay, remember, free is not forever.
It's not.
So okay, in the absence of any other question, do you have any final words for us?
No, I just wanted to express my gratitude for the time, for the invitation from you, Doctor, and for the opportunity to come on and share a little bit of what I know that I believe will help people in their quest to be able to lower their elevated levels of stress and manage that stress going forward, so they can have exactly what the person said, a more balanced and a healthy lifestyle. And I appreciate the opportunity. I really do. Thank you very much. Thank you to you, and thank you for the people tuning into this evening.
Thank you so much. I am so grateful for honoring this invitation at a very short notice. Thank you more. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
All right, guys. So we just finished with the Stress Master, Chess Moulton. And remember to visit his website for his free ebook, okay? Thestressmaster.com. You really need to read that book, because you all heard what we all learned today. Great insights, like great insights. So we'll be proceeding to the next session, okay? So I'm going to be teaching us about how to, let me share my screen. This is something new, something you've not heard it, you've not heard it before. It's entirely new. It's not on Google. So just learn with me. Okay. Oh, no. I'm so sorry. Okay, so still on resilience to stress, okay? So I'm going to be teaching us how to work at peak performance without breaking down. And based on that, it's going to be on these three things: perception, positive affirmations, the healthy productivity curve. So in the next 20 minutes or 30 minutes, we are going to be done. And good enough, the Stress Master has taught us about perception using the analogy of the beach, okay? Where you have to focus on the positive, focus on where you're going to, and not on the negative. I'll give you an instance. Like yesterday, we had network issues, not just network issues. We planned, we prepared, we put everything in place. Even before yesterday's afternoon session, we started checking out the network, okay? However, things were not working out fine, to the extent that we shifted the session to, I think, 12:35. Even at that, it didn't still work that we had to start 1 hour later. So in such situations, it's very easy to get frustrated, right? As if that was not enough. For the evening session, when it was time for the evening session, the guest now sent a message about light issues, okay? And when I called her, we kept hoping that they will bring light in Nigeria at that time anyway. Unfortunately, light didn't come. So imagine how how the day turned out. It was very easy for me to get frustrated or to get angry, but because of the perception of focusing on the positive here now is we still have more sessions to come, and we still have opportunity to still learn. So with that kind of mindset, it helped me to be calm and also to clearly think and prepare for the sessions for today. So imagine how today has turned out. It's been amazing, 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 from afternoon session to this session that we are having now. So you see, the way you perceive situations will help you build resilience to stress, whether you like it or not. It is very, very important, okay? So focus on that good thing. Focus on what is ahead. Focus on what you're pursuing instead of dwelling on persistently on the negative, which will cause you further stress. And I must tell you something else. The more you focus on the things that are not working, you're going to find yourself, you're going to realize that those negatives will seem so magnified. It will seem so huge, even more than it actually is, But when you now focus on the things that are working, that's why people tell you that gratitude works a lot. By the time you focus on the little things you have, or the things you are able to do, or the ones that are working, you realize that problem that actually seemed so huge was actually little. And not only that, you have more clarity of mind to know what to do to handle those situations, okay? So this is real. Now, another thing I'll share with us is positive affirmations. Listen, this is very, very important. For instance, in this group, since this month, I have been putting out positive affirmations for people to declare with me every morning. I'll tell you how powerful this is. Like during this crisis, this coronavirus crisis, a lot of people are afraid, okay? People are panicking. People are so worried. What if they get it? What if, For instance, if you're working in an environment where your workplace have refused to shut down or refused to close, so that because of the virus, and you now hear that somebody at work got tested positive to the virus, how will you feel? You're going to be afraid, right? You're going to panic because you feel that you may get the virus. You may transfer it to your children. You may transfer it to your family. It's going to get you so worried and worked up. But with positive affirmations such as, I am doing the right things, I am eating right, I am exercising right, my immunity is strong, I will not get the virus, things that helps you boost your faith. These things boost your immunity. These things help you to allay the fears, the panic, okay, to help you to be able to concentrate and not dwell on all those fearful things. If you have been following up on the positive affirmations, you can share with us how it has made you feel all this while, okay? I believe it's been so helpful with the feedback, we've been getting. So self-affirmations are really, really great. Now, the thought, I don't know if you guys are following. Please, if you're following, just write something, encourage a lady, please. So if I'm talking too fast, also let me know so that I'll slow down, all right? Okay, so the last thing I want you to learn today is the healthy productivity curve, okay? Now, this curve is not on Google, so just follow me, all right? This curve is something that I created that will help you. Once you remember that curve, you will work at peak performance, okay? Without reducing your productivity, okay? This curve is such that you're going to compare two different things, two different ways of life, that you yourself will tell yourself the truth. Which of these are going to help me, or rather is going to help me to work at peak performance? Because I've gotten people that tell me things like, oh doctor, how do we cope with the unending workload? How do we cope? How do we keep doing things, being productive here and there without losing our sanity? So this curve is going to answer your question. But now, before I explain this curve to you, I'll tell you a story. When I was in 2018, I was working. At the same time, I was learning how to sew. I was taking part in an exam. So 3 major things, okay? This in addition to taking care of my family. I'll go to work. From work, I'll go and learn how to sew. After learning how to sew, I will go and join a discussion group where we're preparing for exams, okay? Now, imagine the kind of life I was living. I didn't have time for many things, especially self-care. My sleep habit was altered, okay? To me, I was taking pride in it because then I was someone that took pride in being a workaholic. If you tell me something like, oh, can you take it? I'll tell you, see, I do this, I do that. I'll keep listing them for you because it gave me joy, being able to talk about all the things I could do. But it wasn't long before I got admitted in the hospital by force. You see, I was highly stressed without breaks. I kept working Monday to, okay, somebody said I was also your trainee at that time. You see, apart from that, I was also teaching how to weave hair, how to do wigs, how to make wigs. So one of my trainees are here. So that period, I was working from Monday to Sunday. If I would take break, it was only on Sundays I would just take a little break. Then Monday, the cycle continued until I got to the hospital and I took break by force. So that's going to give you a hint of the productivity curve, and I'll also tell you what I did to help myself then. Now, this is the curve, okay? If you look at the first curve, I believe you can see my cursor. Okay, now look at the first curve, the one in red. Let's assume that this is a 19 days plan, all right? 19 days plan. So the first day, this is 0 day, you are working at peak performance. This is peak, okay? You're working at peak performance with your sleep and all that normal. And then in between, you get rest, as in you take a break from all the numerous things you're doing, okay? Now, this break to this level, that's to this ground level, means you are resting back to factory reset. That's to a level where you can't do anything. You're just resting, taking care of yourself, eating well, managing any kind of stress, sleeping well, Now you're more energized to work again at another peak level. So imagine this kind of pattern. You are keeping to a regular schedule of working, resting, working, resting. That means incorporating rest to your work, okay? Now compare it to this other curve, okay? Now this person is working to peak level. Instead of resting completely, the person will just get maybe sleeping for like 4 hours, and in between, when you're working so much, you're not going to have time to cook your food. You're taking junks to get the quick energy that would help you, okay? That will just help you flow. Now, you think you've gotten enough rest because you just want to do so many things at a time. You didn't get enough rest and you went back to work again. Now, don't expect your performance to be at this peak level. There will be a difference. You will not notice it. That's the fact. Okay? You will not notice it unless someone tells you. Now you continue with that same habit again, not resting well enough because you feel you need to reach that target, you need to do all these things, you need to be called the person that finished so many things within 24 hours. You go and work again. Just expect that you won't get to the peak level. As in, the cycle continues until the day your body now tells you, see, I can't continue. Remember my story, okay? Remember my story of how I broke down completely and was admitted because of stress, because of too much work. Now you've gotten to this level by force, that's by forceful rest. You are now back to the factory set, to the default setting of your life, where you can't even do anything because your body has forced you to rest. Now, instead of that little rest that you could have taken in between this work time, you're now going to take a longer rest because your body needs a lot of time to recover. I don't know if you guys are following. Please do let me know, okay, if you're following. You're going to take longer time to recover from that work period, okay? So imagine how many days you're going to spend. Maybe you are not even admitted in the hospital. Maybe it's just you can't just do anything again. Now, after getting that rest, because you didn't know what was going on, you go back to that same lifestyle again, to a peak level, and then continue again and again. Look at these two curves. For the first person, if you calculate the number of days this person worked out of 19 days, this person worked 14 days peak. That's maximally 14 days maximally out of 19 days. Okay? Now, whereas this person that was working, trying to reach every target, just working continuously without break, was now able to work only for 11 days out of 19 days. 11 days maximally. Okay. It's all right. So, what do you think? Who worked maximally in this case? Is it the red guy or the yellow guy? Is it the Ezinne now or the former Ezinne? If I will put it that way. So, it's very clear. The red guy who was taking rest in between. Do you understand? This is the person that worked at peak levels. So, what does this mean? No matter what you're doing, you must schedule rest. The way you're scheduling your activities every week, the way you're scheduling all the things, the 1001 things you're going to do to run the house, maybe as a mom, as a dad, or somebody that just wants to take care of him or herself. The way you're scheduling all these activities is the same way you have to schedule your rest. Let me tell you what made the difference in my life after the time I was admitted in the hospital. I told myself, Ezinne, instead of walking like this, like a donkey, you're going to schedule your rest. So I took Wednesday as my rest day and Saturday, I think Sunday, that's 2 days in a week as my rest days. Okay. So what this meant was on Wednesdays, I do nothing else. No extra activity. If it's work, I just go to work and come back. I don't handle any other job. Okay. And another thing I noticed was that because of my stress, then when I thought I was doing everything great, I was performing poorly in my sewing classes. Okay. But when I incorporated rest in all I was doing, I realized that I was able to do more with a more refreshed and more energized self than my previous self that was trying to force a weak body to do things. Okay, I don't know if you guys are following. Just let me know if this makes sense. So what this means is that you must learn how to manage your stress. There is no medal to give to someone for being a workaholic. No one does that. Rather, you're going to break down and you're going to lose so many productive hours, which is against your goal. Okay, so you're going to learn how to eat healthy. You're going to schedule this as a lifestyle, because managing stress is not a one-off thing. It's a lifestyle. If you want to work at peak performance, if you want to work maximally without breaking down, without losing your life. For instance, the session that was cancelled yesterday, okay, the speaker told me that, can we have this session today? That's making it 3 sessions today. Listen, I know my abilities, I know my limits, I know the things I can do, and I am really self-aware, which is the essence here. Okay, so being self-aware means you know how much you can handle, you know how much your body can tolerate. After afternoon sessions, I get rest before the evening sessions. So imagine introducing another session. Maybe by this evening session, I will just be drowsy, you not even know who is talking. So that, because I know my limits, I just shifted that session to Monday. So know your limits. Your own abilities is different from that of another person. Don't work or don't try to do things because another person is doing it. Everybody have their own limits, okay? Or rather, just be self-aware. Know when your body is telling you, hey, my friend, stop it, stop it, stop it. That's why if you go to a workplace, 2 people are working, one person will complain that they are exhausted, that they are tired, whereas the other person will keep working. Because our bodies are different, our genetic makeups are different, environment has influenced us differently. Okay, so if you're following me, just let me know. Okay, so, and don't forget good sleep. Don't even joke with your sleep, because the times you're sleeping, just like Mr. Abe Emmanuel told us, the times you're sleeping is the time your brain mops up any toxicity in your brain. Okay, it's the time your brain mops up any toxic stuff, so that you'll be more refreshed for the next day. So if you sleep and wake up and you're still having headache, you're still tired, you're sleepy during the day, just know that you've not slept well. Okay, so this curve I just taught you guys is just a section in my book. I am just announcing this for the first time. I'm just showing it to you guys for the first time. So I've not put it out there, okay? But before I proceed with this, please, if you have any questions, ask me, okay? Any questions on what we have talked about, just ask me. So if you have any questions, ask me, because I am checking if anyone has questions. So while I'm still waiting for your questions, for the rest of us, you can listen to this. So the productivity curve I taught you guys is just a session of this book. And this is just me indirectly announcing to you that I'm now an author, whether you like it or not. So, and I am putting it out to you guys first before anybody else, because so this book, Stress, We Are Done, as in, funny enough, the title I chose before was Audacious to Stress. So imagine the kind of title. But the good thing is that this is not just for Nigerians or for Africans. For Africans, this is a global affair. Okay, so using the word audacious, people don't even know what you're talking about. What's that? But in essence, stress, we are done. Stress, we are done. That is what we are talking about here. So this book has 4 sections. The first section is not your fault. That's making you understand that whatever stress you're going through is not your fault. I am not the first person. In this session, it explains why you're going through what you're going through. It explains why, because your understanding of why you're going through whatever it is will help you, okay, to be more armed or to be more equipped with how to handle situations. Okay, now the second session is, are you aware? You remember I talked about being self-aware, knowing your limits. Okay, so are you aware is going to help you to know when exactly are you going to say, hey, stop, Ezinne, stop, or Amy, stop. This is my limit. I can't go beyond this. I need to rest. Because if you don't recognize when your body is warning you about something, is going to take a toll on you, and you may end up spending so much in the hospital. I know someone that has done X-ray, CT scan, even MRI for the brain just because of a stress-related issue. May this not be your portion. May you not waste money like this, okay? So the third one is how to manage any form of stress. I said any form of stress because there are going to be uncertainties of life. Just like Moulton taught us, stress is inevitable, so you can't avoid it, but you can be equipped to manage any form. That is what, as I'm telling you, it's not just some kinds of stress, any form at all, including relatable stories from real people, okay? Now, the fourth one is how to build resilience to stress, which is just which I taught you guys part of it earlier now, okay? I just taught you guys part of it. So I'm going to be releasing this book on the 22nd of May, 2020, okay? So if you pre-order before then, you're going to get this bonus 100 days affirmation e-calendar. Just like one of us mentioned here, that the affirmation I've been sending all these while since this month has been so helpful to them. So imagine how equipped you're going to be with 100 days affirmation calendar for overcoming fear, panic, and stress. The what is 1,500. Now, this is what I shared this with my friend, and this is what she said. In fact, when I sent this to her, she was worried about being exposed to COVID. She's a frontline doctor. Okay? So imagine how helpful this was to her. Wow, Ezinne, what you have done is a wonderful job. So uplifting. This will be very helpful to so many people who are going through immense stress during this period. Your desire to help people never ceases. May God help you always. I said amen to this one. Amen. God will always help my life. So that you're going to get this for free once you pre-order for the book. But that's not all. Hey. You see, helping people is what we do. Yeah, it's what we do. It's our life. It helps me relieve stress, in case you don't know. So for the first 50 people to pre-order, you're going to be part of 7 days distress challenge for free. I'm not charging you anything, but the worth of this 7-day distress challenge is 10,000 naira, $25. But if you are among the first 50 people to pre-order, you're going to be part of this challenge for free. And after this challenge, if I hear say stress disturb you again, I'm sorry, for those that don't understand, if I hear that stress disturbed you again, or you were not able to cope with a particular stressful situation, it doesn't mean you're not going to be stressed, but you're going to overcome it or cope with it quickly than the other person that have no idea about what to do. So you're going to be part of this if you're among the first 50 people to pre-order. You see, the ebook is an ebook, is 3,000. The 100 days affirmation calendar is 1,500. 7-day distress challenge, 10,000. A total of 14,500. But not in this COVID, okay? Not in this COVID period. So I am that considerate, I know. But if you pre-order this book before 22nd of May, you pay only 2,000 naira. Only 2,000 naira, pere, which is $6. You see, it's a huge investment. Just think about the lifetime transformation, because when I tell people about stress, it's not a one-time thing. It's something that you should take seriously. It's not a one-time affair, okay? It's a lifestyle. So if you're interested in this, okay, so these are the payment details. Now, while you're noting this, I will answer questions, okay? Someone said, there are some situations that demands you work at your peak. What do you do? Situations that demand you work at your peak. What do you do? Of course, every situation requires you to work at your peak. You should, okay? Now, the point here is not about working at your peak. The point here is about working with balance, working to the extent that you now know that your body cannot handle further. Working with rest in between so that you don't break down to a level or to a point where you can't even work at all at all. We are talking about peak performance here. Remember that curve, okay? The first guy worked with rest in between and worked more than the person who thought he was working better, working so much without much rest, and ending up taking forceful rest for longer days and losing more productive hours. So do you understand? So it is very important, no matter what you're doing, that you must take rest in between if you want to achieve so much more. Okay, this is something that many people don't know. They just think that the more you work, the more you just sleep for 4 hours and keep working, that you're going to do more. No, healthy productivity counters that. You're not going to do better than the person that is taking rest in between, healthy rest, and also implementing all those other activities. Sleeping well, exercising, eating right, very, very important. I don't know if I answered your question. Thank you. Can't wait to read the book. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, someone said, if I answered your question, please do let me know, okay? How can one cope? For example, I'm stressed, but when it's time to sleep or rest, the sleep isn't coming through. See, if you're so stressed, one of the symptoms is insomnia, altered sleep habits. Okay, that is one of the symptoms of stress. Now, to overcome this situation, or rather to cope with this situation, yes, after payment, oh, I forgot to add that after payment, I will show you my email to send in. Okay, don't worry, I'm coming. I'll get to that. So, for you to handle that situation, you have to handle the stress. Okay, because sleep problems can be one of the manifestations, one of the ways your body is telling you, listen, you're too stressed and you have to take it easy, which is facts. All right, so if you want to cope with such situation to help your sleep habit, you have to cope with the stressful situation that is making you not to be able to sleep better. I don't know if you understand me. Just let me know. Just let me know if you understand. If you also have any other question, please send it in. Let me give you an instance. I had a client who had issues. Her problem was fertility issues. It's actually a huge thing, okay? Especially when you've been married for long. But what she told, her complaint was she's finding it difficult to sleep. That was her complaint, not even the fertility issue, that she needed help with sleep. So after talking with her, after going through things with her, assessing sleep hygiene, I've thought about how to sleep better in this group. I did a training on that, assessing sleep hygiene, making sure that you're not doing some habits that would alter your sleep. After going through all that, everything was so okay for her. So we now went to disturbing issues. Okay, we now realize that it was due to the worries, overthinking from the fertility issues that is costing her sleep. So sleep can be a symptom of your stress. So if you're undergoing stress and it's not letting you sleep, please handle the stress. Okay, handle the stress very well. Okay, so after payment, sorry. Okay. Sorry. So, okay. So after payment, you will send your email to this number with confirmation. Okay. I'm just going to put it out there. healthywellthyglobe@gmail.com. Okay, after payment, send the payment confirmation to this email on the screen. Okay, I'm glad. Oh, for Qatar Real, yeah. For Qatari Real, it's just 25 Real finish. 25 Real, yeah. Okay, understood. I'm glad I answered your question. Now, someone said there are some times in one's life when there is so much demand on you. From all indications, you are forced to give in everything to it. Will you say that you're managing stress not to give it all, not to give all you got, knowing it will pass away very soon and you are once again settled? I wish I understood this question perfectly, but let me try with a little understanding. Okay. I wish I know the kind of situation you're talking about, but giving it all. Listen, let me tell you something. I'll use motherhood as an example, okay? A mom is someone that has so many demands. You have to take care of your home. You have to work for career moms. For those that do side business, you have to do that. You also have to take care of your kids. Now, all these are necessary. You have to give it your all, okay? You have to do them every day. Now, when it comes to managing stress, you're going to find out that at the end of every day, you're hitting the bed wasted, okay? You're hitting the bed wasted. That's fact. You're not going to be able to fulfill sexual desire for your spouse, which is fact, because you're stressed, okay? Before you know it, your health is going to suffer. There are going to be times you're going to be so frustrated that when somebody does little thing to you, you're going to be so irritable, okay? So these are the consequences of such actions, all right? Good. Now, if in such situation, what do? You know that these things are affecting your well-being and your family. You're going to cut out on certain things. For instance, the day you're cooking is not the day you're going to wash clothes. So you're going to split. You understand? You're going to split activities per day. Because one thing you must realize is that you are a human being, not a machine, no matter what is going on. Once stress is affecting you, there is no gun to your head that you must finish every activity each day. If not, you're on an express. You're going on an express to crashing. Okay, like an express crashing. I don't know if I spoke the English well. So I don't know if you understand. You're the one that is going to answer yourself whether you're handling the situation well. How do you feel? How does it make you feel? Is your mental health suffering? Are you easily irritable? Do you feel depressed? All these things are going to be signs to show whether you're handling the stress well or not. I discussed this in my book, and I talked about the symptoms to feel, because sometimes when people are stressed, they don't even know what is going on with them. You understand? So the symptoms you feel are going to determine whether you're being stressed or not. Okay? I don't know if I answered you well. Okay, someone said, can stress reduce someone's appetite? If so, how can one cope with it? Yeah, so people cope with stress in different ways. People react to stress in different ways. People like me, yes, we lose appetite when we are stressed. On the other hand, and we lose weight. On the other hand, some people gain voracious appetite, like they just keep eating and gaining weight. And what they are eating is not even healthy food, because that's what their brain is craving for. So stress can make you lose appetite, okay? Now, when you're handling, let me mention this now, because people are just asking me this. It's like the same question, but different ways. All you're telling me is the symptom of stress and how to cope with the cause. Okay. Now I must tell you this: for you to cope with any stress, you must know what is causing you stress. That's the number one thing. Unfortunately, some people don't even know. So if you are going to talk about managing your stress, you have to know what is causing you stress. Then we can now start talking, okay, so how are we going to manage the situation? Is it job? Is it marriage? Is it parenting? With the previous speakers have addressed some of these issues, and we still have the parenting speaker talking to us tomorrow. The summit should have ended today, but parenting was moved because of light issues. So tomorrow, 12 p.m., Dr. Vivian is going to be talking to us on how to cope with parenting stress. Okay. Okay. For Qatar, I'm going to put the payment link in the comments after this session. Okay, please, I'll tag you. I'll reply your message. Okay, so if you have paid, don't forget, send details to the email I shared earlier, to this email, payment details, so that once the book is released and every other thing, you will be part of all the bonuses. You will get them. Okay, remember, only the first 50 people are going to get the bonuses. So that's it. I don't know if I've answered all your questions. If you have any other question, if I did well, please appreciate me now, okay? Encourage me, please. Oh, it's not only guests that you tell thank you. So let me know if I answered your questions. Okay. Yes, ma, you answered my question. Prioritize your workload. Thank you. Okay. So let me know. Just give me a feedback. Give me a feedback. Encourage me. There's nothing wrong with it. So that I can come again tomorrow with our guest that is going to talk to us on how to cope with parenting stress, which is another major issue that people undergo. Okay. So you're doing well. Okay. Thank you guys for tonight. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy. Yeah, I'm so happy we did this tonight. I'm so happy. Today should have been our final day, but we move. Okay, just have this mindset. No matter what's going on, we move. We are not giving up. No matter what, we are moving to our goals, to our targets. All right. So, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. See you guys tomorrow. Remember, 12 p.m. Today we kept to time. I love that. So tomorrow, 12 p.m. Okay, we are going to be here to wrap it up. We are going to be here to wrap it up. So after recognizing the stress, what next? Please just purchase the book, okay? Everything will be there, all right? Just purchase the book. Every answer, you will be able to manage any form of stress. After recognizing the stress, that's when you know what to do. So I don't even know what the stress is. So what will I tell you to do now? So just purchase the book, okay? All right, guys. Have a blessed evening. It's past 10. Wow. Thank you.